Hi, everybody. First today, we have Jack Doherty. Anyone who wants to ask a question? Okay. But first to Ben Garrett.
Yeah, Jack, y'all get this sweep after it'd been a month for y'all to get a series win. So what does this weekend feel like for y'all, and to get this series sweep, how big is it?
I mean, it's great going out knowing we weren't playing our best, knowing we were super close to stringing things together. Going out there and playing like that was great for the team, and I think it's a huge momentum boost.
You've settled in really as a key reliever after debuting not too long ago, man. What's working for you, and how much more comfortable do you feel now?
I feel super comfortable out there, and I'd say locating my fastball is going to be my best weapon. Just because with a defense like that behind me, it's not too hard to go out there, throw strikes, let them hit it, and let my defense work.
Hey, Nick, when you're ready.
Jack, you were redshirting less than a month ago. What's kind of flipped for you to go from that to being a major contributor in SEC? What's changed for you that allowed that to happen?
I'd say it kind of put a chip on my shoulder and made me want to prove them wrong and want to contribute to this team.
What do you think kind of convinced Coach Bianco to take you off the red shirt and give you your chance this year?
We've been having live ABs almost weekly since the start of the season, and just going out there and competing and showing what I can show. That's what was the difference maker.
You saw a lot of struggles in the bullpen while you were redshirting, while you were waiting your turn. What does it mean for you to kind of get out and kind of fill a hole that this team might have had?
I mean, I love going out there pitching at Swayze, but I always had confidence in my teammates and knew that they were going to be able to get it done.
Do you have any other questions for Jack? That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next up, we have Kevin Grant. Ben, when you're ready.
Kevin, it had been a while since y'all won a series, man, in the SEC. To come out and get a sweep, how big was this? And do you think this was probably the most complete series y'all played in a while?
Yeah, I mean, we've played well even in those series that we lost. We just haven't been able to put a full weekend together. So it was great to see us come out and compete and really play like we can and will continue to play for 3 games straight there. That was fun.
Nick brought it up to Jack, man. He was redshirting like a month ago. What have you seen from him growth-wise, for him to become such a key part of the bullpen? How big is that for y'all as far as moving forward?
Oh, that's huge. Just another arm we can come in big spots like he did today. But, super proud of him. When he got told he was redshirted, he didn't let him get it down. Didn't let that get him down. Continued to work really hard, and he's really improved. And now he's one of our guys, and I'm super proud of him.
Chris Mueller, you're good to go.
Kevin, talk to us a little bit about what it felt like for Tim to come out of the dugout and get the pinch hit tonight.
That might have been the coolest thing I've ever seen. Tim's kept a great attitude through the whole thing. Hasn't made him have a bad day once, as tough a situation that is. And to see Swayze as excited as they were, it was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen on a baseball field. That was awesome.
Thank you.
We'll go to Parrish.
Kevin, I know you said you guys felt like you were close in those series that you weren't winning, but was it hard to, as a team, keep confidence up when you weren't able to get over the hump and win a series really for more than a month?
No, I don't think we ever had a doubt how good we were. We just didn't exactly play our best in the biggest spots, but we were close in all those games. It's not like we were getting drummed by anybody. We were playing solid, just not good enough. And I think we all knew we were this good, and we're going to continue to play good for weekends.
Any other questions for Kevin? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Lastly, we have Coach Bianco. Chase, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, going back to game one today, Doug kind of looked like his vintage self a little bit. Kept the pitch count down, not as many strikeouts, but a lot of ground outs and weak contact, something we haven't necessarily seen from him pitching that way this year.
Yeah, you're right. Real efficient, and also I think a lot had to do with how they're built offensively. They're just really aggressive, but part of doing that is being able to throw it in the strike zone. And one of the things that so not as many strikeouts. Usually, if you're having success, that means you're throwing some pitches early in the strike zone early in the count and getting some outs, and he did that. And it's unfortunate. He's such a great competitor, and that's why you love him. But he gives up a couple runs, late there. I guess I'm thinking in the seventh, his last inning, and I know he's frustrated, and it's part of it. It's part of it. They sometimes the balls find holes, but just again, he's been spectacular for us in that second slot, and we call it swing day, where you either win the weekend or you even the weekend back up. And there's not a better swing day pitcher than Doug.
I know you obviously had good expectations for Doherty, but that's maybe the best middle relief job of the year, just the way he handled everything and the way his pitches were.
No, you're right, and just continues to pitch with confidence, and you've seen it, Chase. A lot of you guys have watched for years, and you need things to have a good year. You need some guys that you weren't counting on, not necessarily guys that were redshirted and come out of redshirt and do that kind of things, but guys that weren't part of the media interviews early in the year, and then you wake up and they add some pieces. So a guy like Jack, we've won 4 in a row conference games, and he's been huge in 2 of those wins, and he's pitched 3+ innings in both of those wins. And so another great night tonight with really good stuff, a really alive fastball that was 90 to 92, 93, but I think even played up from there, because he's got one of those balls that's got a lot of vertical break on it, it has a lot of ride to it, and then threw a slider in there. And then again, like Doug, we were just talking about, a lot of first pitch strikes or was in a 1-1 count, and just really favorable counts that allowed him to just kind of cruise there through about 3 innings.
We'll go to Nick.
Mike, going off of that, what did you see from Jack in some of those live BPs or some of those sim games that kind of made you think, okay, now might be the time to take the red shirt off, give him some exposure and work him in?
Those 2 things, 2 things where the stuff, and when I say stuff, it's fastball, in the fall, probably fair that it was in the upper 80s, touching 90, but in the sim games, every time out, doesn't throw a ball under 90, and most of them he's 91 to 94 and touching a 95 or so. So one, the velocity taking off. Number 2, the slider continuing to improve, where probably in the fall, he's really worked with Coach Lafferty a lot in the bullpen to sharpen up the slider. The slider was, I want to say, somewhere in the mid 70s, and now it's a low 80s pitch for him. And then the strikes, when you look, if you're going to fill that role of setup guy, middle relief, whatever you want to call it, the guys before Broadway, anybody out of the bullpen usually has got to be able to throw strikes, or you got to be really special, So you got to be able to strike out guys, and when you got the guys that you walked on base, and he's been terrific. And so that's why when we got to that point, we said, he's as good as anybody that we're running out there. It's unfortunate that he's not able to pitch, and we contemplated it for weeks. But then all of a sudden we decided we'll do it. And one of the neat things, and I said this on the radio with Brad because he's coach, one of the neat things, as a coach, there's opportunities out there for certain guys when they get pinch hit at bat, or they get a start, or they get a couple starts, or they're in a few games. Same with the pitchers. And it's really cool when kids make the most of the opportunity. And it doesn't always happen. And sometimes it's not even their fault. But to watch guys, pitch out there, which it's much harder, with 10,000 people in the stands against another team from the Southeastern Conference, the same way they were pitching, just against Tim Elko and Kemp Alderman and Hudson Sapp and other guys in a sim game with nobody in the stands, and to be able to take that and do it when it's for real with uniforms on, that's really cool to watch, and really proud of him.
I know there's obviously a lot of trust in Broadway, but is there any hesitation bringing him in for a third time in 2 days there, or is it
Well,
good to go?
not when he says he's good,
Okay.
and we trust him and we trust the guys, and especially Carl, Lafferty has such a great relationship where we don't want to run somebody out there that is not ready to pitch. And Diamond wasn't ready to pitch today. He's just a little stiff and sore from 45 or so pitches yesterday, so we weren't going to pitch him. So, but when we went up to Taylor before the game, I actually grabbed him in the middle of the game because Laff had already gone down to the bullpen, and Taylor usually doesn't go to the bullpen till late. And I just said, hey, I didn't get with Laff. I said, how are you doing right now? And he says, oh, I'm good. He says, I'm ready to go. And so you knew he was available for at least the 9th and sent him down there to start stretching. But once we got to the 9th, he's our best guy. And as good as Jack was, and Jack, the way he's pitching, could have gotten through the 9th inning. I don't doubt that. But when you have a chance to sweep and you got a chance for an SEC win, and you have your best guy, your closer, that's wants the ball and is ready to go, I don't know if I cannot not give it to him. I mean, he's too good.
Over to Chris.
Mike, I asked Kevin about Tim Elko. Could you tell us what you think it means for the team to get their captain back in a pinch hit appearance, and what did you think of Elko's at bat?
Well, one, really cool, and that's one of the reasons that they talk about Swayze Field and the atmosphere here. You knew the fans would appreciate it, right? And that it's touching that a kid a month ago that's having one of the best years in the nation, statistically, our captain and a kid that deserves all of this, just unfortunate, and gets hurt, and it's a real serious injury that's going to require surgery. But to work like he has with Josh Porter, our trainer, to remain upbeat, to remain really engaged in practices and in games, and just really cool for him to be able to step out of to the plate and get a standing ovation. I heard Kevin say, that's the coolest thing he's ever seen on the field. And, from a coach, it touches your heart. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool moment that, the fans appreciate him that much. Now, as far as the at-bat, I thought it was terrific. I mean, you're facing a guy that's thrown low to mid-90s left-hander who's going to always be tough in Bosnick, and he takes a couple pitches out of the zone and then gets a really good swing on a ball and gets a lot of barrel, and shoots it up into the sky a couple 100 feet. And, when you start to think about, gosh, just a little bit more of the ball, something really cool could have happened. And but no, I thought it was great. And again, it wasn't a rehab at bat. We're not going to do that. I mean, we won't run him out there unless we think he can succeed. And it was time.
Thank you.
Over to Chase.
Look at McDaniel today. Seemed like he reset pretty good after Clark hit that home run.
Yeah. His stuff wasn't very good today. I mean, his fastball was down a tick, velo-wise. His fastball command was down. His slider was really flat, didn't have a lot of bite. And so he didn't have much stuff to really to go at him. And, of course, after Clark's home run, really challenged him. And one of the things that you got to be able to do as a starter is weather the storm. I mean, it's, you're hoping that you can eat up some innings, even if, they have the lead. Offensively, we were tremendous all weekend and continue to be, just so relentless offensively. And so we bounced back into the game. But you're right, proud of Drew. He does, he puts up a couple zeros there and keeps it, at an even game, even giving up the last run, through 5 innings. And we knew that you like our chances at home with our offense, with the game evened up after 5. That sometimes is all you can ask from the Sunday guy.
You know who you'll throw in the midweek yet?
No, sorry.
Any other questions for Coach?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.